Oh, can we try that again? How is everyone doing? Yeah? Okay. I think that's a little better because you're about to witness arguably the best part of this entire conference, our fabulous student panel. My name is Jo Madda. I am an EdSurge columnist and also a frequent consumer of education technology. Ironically, Microsoft, you guys were the first computer that my parents ever bought us. And I remember the days of Oregon Trail and Roller Coaster Tycoon and what were some of the other big games from back in the 90s? Carmen Sandiego, oh, she was my fave, loved her. Do you guys recognize any of these? No? Okay. Well, that's okay. We won't go down that rabbit hole. But I also have the illustrious honor of getting to moderate this fabulous panel of 4 students who have come here to be quite honest and upfront about technology, what's working, what they wish they had more of, what they love doing, and et cetera, et cetera. So, and I know a couple of them are nervous, so can we give them a little round of applause, please? Just a little bit of encouragement? Yes, yes. Yep. I also, look at me for a second, guys. So they're not here. So just ignore, you good, Ryan? You good? Yeah, just ignore everything that they're looking at you. It's just us, okay? So they're gonna be brutally honest, just so everybody's clear. No, this is a judgment-free zone. Cool? Yes? Okay. All right. So we're gonna start over here with Ryan. So Ryan, can you share, what'd you say? You don't wanna, you okay? You're good to go? Okay. So this is Ryan. Ryan, can you tell us your grade level, where you go to school, and your favorite piece of technology outside of school?
Yes, I can. By the way, thank you for having me. My name is Ryan Fernandez. I go to school at Easterby Elementary in the Fresno Unified School District, and I am in the 6th grade.
What's your favorite piece of technology? And hold the microphone a little bit closer. There you go.
My favorite piece of technology would be Microsoft Teams.
Everybody heard that? Microsoft Teams? All right, good. Okay, thank you, Ryan. Good job. Okay, now we'll move down the panel to Drake. Drake.
Hi, everyone. My name is Drake Goodman. I go to Redwood High School just across the bay, and I'm in 11th grade. And for me, my favorite piece of technology would have to be the laptop. Just because there's so much different application that can be used for it. I can do a lot of research using it, write different documents, create presentations, and it was actually really useful this summer for me because I started this nonprofit to benefit schools in Africa, and I use a lot of it to, thank you, I use a lot of it, my laptop to research how to start a nonprofit, what I needed to do, and how I could effectively benefit other students around the world.
Excellent. All right, moving on to Karen.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Salcedo. I'm a sophomore at Oxford Day Academy, and my favorite piece of technology to use is my phone because I'm able to communicate with my friends and use it as a tool for homework.
And last but not least, Chelsea.
Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea Pascual and I'm a senior at New Technology High School in Napa. And my favorite piece of technology would probably be my phone, just because it's so handy. It's like a mini computer that you can take wherever you go, and then you can also communicate with your friends through it. So.
Fabulous. Okay. Now this is a quick panel. Unfortunately, I only have about 20 minutes, so we're going to be going through the questions because there's some things that I wanted to ask you guys, but then there's also some things that they mentioned that they wanted to talk about with all of you. So let's start off with a question relevant to a lot of folks here. What are the things that your teachers and schools do with technology in the classroom that you really like? What are the things that you've gotten to do that you're like, yes, I want to do this as much as possible? And anyone can start.
For me, I really liked, since New Tech is a little bit of a different school, they're project-based and they have extra graduation requirements. One of those graduation requirements is to have a digital portfolio. So I was able to create my own website in a website called Weebly, where I showcased pretty much all of my schoolwork from freshman year to senior year. And also I was able to do a little bit of the extracurricular side of it. So my sports, the club that I started, and the clubs that I'm part of. And I really like this because it's I can use it as a tool. Since I'm a senior now, it's college apps time. So with college applications, it's so limited. You have limited amount of words, and the questions are centered on certain things. So I'm able to use that portfolio to showcase more about myself and show them more about who I am, what I've done in the past, and why I fit their school.
So for me, I was really fortunate enough to go to a district that provided technology to us since kindergarten. We actually had computers in our classrooms, and then in 8th grade, we took laptops from school back home, back to school. And what I found effective from all of that is that I was able to learn from an early age how useful technology can be and how we can use it to our advantage and to our benefit. But sometimes, yes, it got a little bit excessive, how much we used it, but for the most part, it was very effective for, I think, all of the students. I think all my peers can say the same thing, as well as when we use technology, different websites, different apps to create an interactive learning environment. I think that's been very productive for students as well.
Excellent. Karen, what about you?
Can you repeat the question, please?
What do you love that your school and teachers do with technology in the classroom?
What I love the most that my teachers do with technology is they let us use laptops in class because we could use Google Sheets and to calculate our grades. Mm-hmm. And for example, because we have to improve our grades, and so we have different types of points. Right now, I'm in a fidelity group where they show us how to improve our grades by showing us the amount of percentage we have. And it's helping me improve my grade and knowing what I need help with.
Excellent. Okay. What about you, Ryan? What is the thing that your teachers do that you love the most in the classroom? Dramatic pause for effect, obviously.
One thing that I love that teachers do in the classroom is they use class notebook, because this way you do forms tests on there to help test to see what we know and what we don't know. Mm-hmm. And also I like a notebook because we could do all our writing and planning on there without having to do it old school on paper.
This is not an old school group of kids, I will tell you that much right now. All right? Well, let's talk about the things then that you would like to see less of. Like, is there anything that you want to do more, or there's things that you see and you think to yourself, I'm kind of over this now. It's almost 2019. Like, it's time to keep moving forward. And you're not going to get in trouble, I should mention, for these answers.
One thing I really want to see less of is the website wonders McGraw-Hill.
Okay. The clapping is good, I promise you. Can you tell us a little bit about why?
It's boring. It really is, because it takes forever for a page to load. And it's easier just to look up all the words on the internet instead of getting the weeks all mixed up. Sometimes the spelling words will get all mixed up and it'll be different weeks.
And that frustrates you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I can see it on your face, for sure. All right, so Ryan's definitely got something he's not a fan of. What about the rest of you?
So for me, like I said before, I appreciate technology a lot, but I think there's a certain point where it is a little bit excessive. Personally, through my experiences, I'm a fan of genuine learning. For example, this was just a week ago, but my English teacher, he blindfolded one of our students and had another student say, okay, direct this student around the classroom to get to this endpoint without having the student bump into anything. And everyone else in the class was we were just like, what? What is he doing? But what this was for, it was a lesson to teach us about how to write an essay. We need to be to the point. We need to not lead our readers to tangents, and we don't need to have our readers get lost in what we're trying to say. And this was very effective to me, at least, because I really remember, wow, okay, if I want to know how I can make my essay the best I can just think back to this lesson. But if he said this in a presentation using Google Slides or PowerPoint, I don't know if that would have stuck with me the same. So I think that genuine experience, these moments in the classroom that you just can't miss, you can't make up by looking at something online, that's what I appreciate the most.
Very nice. Yeah, for sure, definitely.
What I'd like to see more in my class is our all those classes using technology as for the students to teach the rest of the students, and not the teacher teaching us. By students projecting their own work.
So you want the students really to be more in control. Yeah.
Because they are our future. We are the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's accurate. That is correct. Okay.
For me, it's not necessarily like to stop it, but more like to better it. So in our school at New Tech, it's pretty much like all online. We have Echo where all our activities and homeworks are due. We see our agenda on Echo, and it's a really great tool. We also use like Google Drive where we have our documents, our calendar, and all that stuff. And I just wish that they would give us more time to get more familiar with the tools that they're introducing to us, just because I feel like we're just barely scratching the surface, because we have such a limited time to do this project and it's due by Friday, and we don't even get the chance to dig deeper into the lesson that they're trying to teach us. So I feel like if the students get more time to actually get to know and be familiar with different characteristics and what other things those tools that they introduce to us could offer, I feel like we could come up with better products, and it's just an overall a lot more better final products that we could share to our class and to the school.
So the last thing you said, Chelsea, actually is a perfect segue to something that you guys wanted to talk about, related to learning outside of the classroom. That learning doesn't just happen within oftentimes the four walls of a classroom or a district, that there's so many opportunities outside of that. So we'll start with you and then we'll go back down the line. Talk a little bit about where you see the best learning opportunities for yourself outside of the classroom. Like, where would you want us as educators to provide more opportunities for all of you?
Like I said before, New Tech isn't really your traditional high school. It's project-based, and we have extra graduation requirements. One of those is that you're required to have a 60-hour internship at a whatever field you want to intern for. And I really got to use that as a way to determine what I really want to major in after high school. So what I did was that I actually had 2 internships, one with an elementary school in Napa and one for the auditor controller's office in Napa. Since I was really interested in becoming a teacher, and then I was also interested in like accounting and stuff like that. So I was able to do my internship, get that graduation requirement checked off, and at the same time I was able to learn what the field actually looks like on a day-to-day basis. I was able to get a feel of what I will be doing if I do end up going into that career path. So I felt like I learned the most out of that by being able to experience what you'll have to deal with once you do decide to choose that path.
I think I need help with this question because I don't really understand it.
Where outside of school do you think you learn the most?
I think the only place I could only say is my house, because I have a special need brother, and it makes me, he has Power killing syndrome, and I learned that I have to be grateful, and that's where I learned the most, because he taught me how to be grateful. He taught me how to eat, how I could walk well and speak, to be grateful how I could speak well and have all these opportunities. So.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah.
So for me, I think, like what Chelsea said earlier, I think having hands-on experience outside the classroom really helps us learn. So I interned with Gavin Newsom over the summer for his campaign for governor. And from that, I learned how government worked, how to campaign, as well as when I interned with Assemblymember Mark Levine, I also supplemented my learning of government, supplemented my learning of how to talk in front of people, how to talk with people, how to persuade people. And sometimes those are just things you don't learn in the classroom, but if your teachers push you to do things in the real world, to apply what you do learn in the classroom to the real world, I think that's where you learn the most. And also, my physics teacher, he always tells us, take what we learn in class and see how you can see it in the real world. So, for example, we were learning about optics and how light passes through lenses and how light passes from a mirror. And yeah, we learn that through the classroom, through his lectures, but then in the real world, we can see, oh, we're looking at a spoon and wow, my reflection gets inverted as I look at it closer. And it's just interesting to see how these different concepts come together in our everyday lives. I think that's really important to take away from this.
Excellent. Ryan?
I also agree. Place that you would mostly, that I will mostly learn the most besides school would be at my house, because I learn every day how to clean, how to take care of a house if I ever get one day.
If he ever gets old one day, which will never happen, obviously. I mean, let's be real.
Also, I would learn how to be like a gardener, because I mow the lawn every weekend. And it's just a life lesson that everyone needs to know.
You've also said, oh, yeah, feel free. Yep. One thing, Ryan, you were telling me before is that you also really like playing video games. What do you think you learn from video games that you might not necessarily learn in school?
Nothing.
Nothing. What's your favorite video game, just out of curiosity? Is it Fortnite?
I hate Fortnite.
You hate Fortnite.
I like old school games like Pac-Man, Blue Boy. I like a few others too.
All right. I think we've got a 90s kid on our hands here for sure. Okay. We only have about 5 minutes left. I have 2 more questions. And one of them I want to ask is something that you also brought up that you felt like was really important for us to talk about. And that was mental health awareness, working with students to help them deal with stress, frustration, the emotions that come in as part of being a human being. Can you guys share with us a little bit more about what do you think schools could help you guys with when it comes to managing stress or just being supportive for the things that you guys are struggling with? And anyone can start. You want to go? Oh, okay, you'll go third. Okay.
For me, our school just recently, I'm actually part of it. We founded a peer support club at New Tech High where a bunch of students that are interested in being a peer counselor, we were actually trained to be able to know how to deal with those type of circumstances. And our main goal is not to give them the solution to their problem, but to help them figure it out on their own, but just be there for them to listen, so someone can listen to them and they could we don't tell them what to do, but more of we ask them questions so we can help them realize what they need to do. And I feel like having a school having that kind of resource for students to go to, not having to talk to an adult, because most of the time that's too intimidating for students, especially for teenagers. But just having a person their age who can really relate to them and actually know what they're going through and have more of a feel of what it's like to be in their shoes. I feel like it's such a great support system for students, especially because now schools are starting to become more and more stressful, and we really need to start becoming more aware of the students' mental state.
I don't know how to approach this. I feel like the teachers should. I feel like they should have open ears with the students and try to understand them once they realize that their grades are going down because they have issues going on like back home or at school. And I feel like mental health is important for like your education because it affects with your learning. And from personal experience, I feel like it was hard for me to move on each time I try to learn something else because I always had an issue in my mind and I didn't have no support from my parents. And so I always came to school to try to get away from them because the teachers were always there to listen to me, to give me options, to guide me whatever I wanted to. And I think that's all I have to say.
Can you please give me the question?
What could we as educators do to help you guys deal with stress or other issues that you have at school? Bullying, frustration at home. What can we do to help you?
I think they've already solved it. Like, do calm, relaxing music sometimes will calm you down. Playing maybe stress ball.
Stress ball?
Yeah.
What is stress ball?
Basically a squishy ball you squeeze whenever you get angry. I like it. I use it a lot sometimes when I get frustrated because it's hard in class. But you guys could maybe give the students a little more attention. Sometimes kids don't get enough attention and they go down.
Downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think my biggest piece of advice for teachers would be to create an open environment in your classrooms, because I know a lot of students, they want to succeed and sometimes they do feel stressful, and when they're stressed they can't learn. So I think they just need to have that outlet to talk to someone about what they're struggling with, whether it's classroom related or outside the classroom. And some people, like Chelsea said, do get intimidated by teachers, by adults, and by just having that open environment, I think that can be really beneficial for students in order to help them learn as much as they can.
Awesome. Yeah. So unfortunately, we are out of time, but I'm hoping that maybe you guys might hang around a little bit, or if you have questions that you didn't get a chance to get answered, we'll figure out a way to make that happen. I want to thank all of you for being super honest and just giving us, did you guys get actionable information? I definitely did. I definitely think we have a president and 3 members of the cabinet right here for sure in the future. But thank you guys so much, and we are going to exit off stage. So one more round of applause for these guys. Thank you.